Hey guys, so this is going to be my month 3 Accutane review video, and this one I can definitely say I have a lot more difference in my skin now and some of the side effects as well. So the first thing that I'm going to show is just the obviousness. So this is fresh out of the shower with moisturizer, and I've blow dried my hair. And the reason I didn't get more ready, well, I mean, not like I'm ready in any of my other videos, but I specifically left my hair just as is to show all of the breakage, because that is a big one that I'm noticing this month. Is my hair is so dry, and I typically don't have an issue one way or another with my hair. It's usually pretty normal, sometimes a little bit more on the greasy side, but not bad. So to have dry hair is pretty big for me. As you can see, I hope you can see. Here on the top, I have tons of little broken pieces, and it's really thinning right in here, and it's all just very short and very broken. And also this spot on the side is completely broken off. So I've always had kind of a weird curl here. This little patch has always been different, but it's very broken right now. Very broken, very dry, very brittle, and you can see just how short it is. So that is all broken, and overall my hair just feels dry. Now, to try and combat some of the dryness, I do use the It's a 10, let's see, I think I mentioned this in my last video, the It's a 10 Silk Express Miracle Silk Leave-In Treatment. Looks like this. And it says, explosive silkiness, cuts down drying time, shields against frizz, enhances body, protects color, strengthens hair shaft, instant detangler, ultra moisturizing, glossy shine, and build up free. So I've been using this, not every day, because it does, I know it says build up free, but it's really not, at least not for my hair. I do notice that it still builds up. And it gets kind of oily in my hair if I do too much. So I only spray it in the day that I've showered after I've blow dried my hair, when it's still just a little bit damp. So I kind of stop mid blow dry and then spray it in. I waited this time until it was dry just so that I could kind of show you guys the difference between before and then after I put it in. So I don't know if you can see much of a difference, but it definitely kind of shines it a little bit, makes it a little less poofy and frizzy, and I just kind of brush that through, and it helps a little bit. I notice a difference, and I'll take any kind of moisture I can get for my hair and skin right now that I can. So now back to my skin. This week has been by far the driest week. And I know in my last video I mentioned I had kind of dryness around my nose and kind of up on my lip. I still have that, but now I'm also noticing that my cheeks are drying out, which is big for me. Now, I have dry skin to start with, so I kind of expected that I would get the worst end of the dryness with the Accutane. I fully anticipated that, but I never before have been dry on my cheeks. I'm always dry around my nose and my mouth, and at times kind of up in my T-zone. But my cheeks and forehead have always been fine. I have never had a dryness problem on the sides of my face. So for that to be dry, I can tell that something's happening. And I will also insert, you could hear my kids being crazy. I will also insert a before and after picture so far of my progress. The first one, I think the bottom picture is the day that I started Accutane, and the top picture was last week. So there is a big difference. A lot of this, it feels pretty smooth, and a lot of this is the hyperpigmentation and the scarring that the Accutane really isn't going to do anything for the hyperpigmentation or the scarring. That'll be something that I'll have to do. That'll be something that I have to kind of deal with after the active acne is gone. Now, I do still have this patch right here, which has just kind of been a trouble patch this whole time. It breaks out really bad right here for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because I sleep there in my hand or I lay on this side of my face the most. So that might be why this is kind of worse. And then there is some still kind of back further on this face. And then I still have some marks up here by my nose. This breakout was massive. It was just huge and under the skin, and it hurt to like smile or crinkle my nose. This one hurt, and it is taking a long time to go down. I do think a lot of these trouble spots would have been a little bit better. They would have gone down nicer had I not been so bad about picking at my face. I've always been bad about picking at my face and picking at my acne, hence the scarring. So I do think a lot of this, I tried really hard, but I just, out of habit, I guess, just come up and I scratch and I pick and I just kind of mess and I rub, and not good. Shouldn't do it, but I have, and I'm having to kind of deal with the repercussions of that, which is a lot more scarring. And on the Accutane, your skin thins out so much that any kind of picking that you do, it's going to scar. So I've kind of dug myself my own little grave there that I will have to deal with later. I am thinking of trying the microneedling once the active acne is gone, because I know you can't do that when you have active spots and blemishes, because it'll just spread the bacteria. So once the active breakouts are gone, I am going to try the microneedling to work on some of these scars and the hyperpigmentation and see if I can't improve that a little bit. So you guys comment below and let me know if you've ever tried that. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get ready. I do have some errands to run today, things to do, and I'm going to be out of the house, so I'm going to go ahead and do my makeup. I usually don't put on makeup with the Accutane just because it typically doesn't feel very nice on my face, and I don't want to work against the medication, and I want to leave my face as bare and breathable as possible. But today I just feel like looking nicer, so I'm going to put some makeup on, and I will come back and kind of show you guys how the makeup sits on my skin, and you can just kind of see how I'm able to cover what I have here. So we'll be back. Alright guys, here's the finished product, and I have my foundation on. The foundation I use is actually it's the Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation, and I kind of thought that one wasn't going to work because it's matte. So matte foundations tend to be more drying, but I have found that it gives me the most coverage. I could wear the dewiest, most moisturizing foundation that there is, and it would still probably show up dry just because my skin is that dry. Now, I do have on moisturizer, a hydrating primer. I color corrected just a little bit in the spots where it gets super purpley under my foundation. And then I have my foundation, and then obviously contour, blush, and then eye makeup, things like that. I did set everything with a powder. So, and obviously I'm no makeup artist. Most days I don't even have time to put on makeup, and most of the time I have kids sitting here on my lap playing with makeup brushes, rubbing their makeup brushes like all over the place, or my makeup brushes all over the place. So I'm no makeup artist. So do you. This is just how I do it. And it works out okay. I do have caking under my eyes and dryness and flakiness at the end of the day, but honestly I just don't care. If I can cover some of the redness and the acne, then whatever, I'm happy with that. And my hair, really all I can do with that is try and do as many of the treatments as I can. I do coconut oil masks. I am careful to balance the amount of protein that I add to my hair, and I try to really balance protein and moisturizer, because too much protein is just going to add to how brittle your hair is. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold still. About 5 weeks of this sinus nastiness now. What was I saying? One of my really big side effects, really my only, well, okay, 2 other side effects. I have weekly headaches, no matter what. Whether I take Tylenol, no matter how much water I drink, no matter how healthy I eat, I get about 2 to 3 headaches a week. And they range from just kind of annoying, like, ugh, this sucks, to in bed, covers over my face, takes me out. So headaches have been getting more and more consistent, and they're getting a little more consistent in how bad they are. So that is kind of a bummer, and one of the side And one of the side effects that I was really just like, oh, if I can just not get headaches, I can deal with everything else as long as I don't get headaches. So naturally, I got the headaches. The last one, which is by far the worst, and it's the one that makes it the most difficult day to day, is the joint pain. And I think I've mentioned in my first video that my joint pain was really bad, and then in my 2-month video, it had kind of subsided. Well, this month it is back in full force. Not in my knees. I really expected it kind of in joints like my knees and my elbows and kind of my shoulders. I don't have that, but my spine. I have horrible, horrible back pain. And it's to the point where even just pressing on my back, pressing on my spine hurts. I can feel that there's tenderness and pain there. The other day, my 3.5-year-old accidentally he was crawling behind me and he bumped his head into my back. And I cried out. It sounded really dramatic, I'm sure, but it hurt so bad. Just him kind of headbutting me back there. And it wasn't even hard. He didn't do it on purpose, but it hurt really bad. And with that, I have a lot of rib pain. So back and rib pain. I was not expecting rib pain because it was kind of, my dermatologist was like, oh, well, joints. It dries out your joints. And I was like, okay, well, ribs aren't a joint, but they hurt nonetheless. I can't, if someone hugs me too hard, if I lay on my belly or my side at all, or if I lay kind of with my arm underneath me, it's hard to catch my breath. My ribs hurt and they ache, and I kind of am hunched over until the pain eases, and that has been incredibly difficult, very uncomfortable, and it makes sleeping really hard because I naturally am a stomach sleeper or on my right side, and that hurts really bad. And if I fall asleep that way and I sleep several hours on my stomach and then I wake up and I try to roll over, like the pain from, I guess, my ribs kind of decompressing is so painful. And it's definitely something I'm going to bring up to my dermatologist. I have an appointment with him in 2 weeks. And I'm going to kind of bring that up and see what he says, because that one has definitely been one of the more difficult ones to tolerate. Other than that, I'm just being really careful to protect my skin. We're in Alaska, and so it's getting very, very cold. It's supposed to be down into the negative 40s this weekend, and my skin is definitely, with how thin it is definitely more prone to getting damaged from the cold. I notice that if I'm out too long, areas around my mouth turn gray. I get gray patches on my cheeks, and it's very uncomfortable, and it takes a long time for the color to come back into my skin. So I'm just very careful with how much I expose my skin to the cold. The same you would with the sun. You're supposed to wear sunscreen all the time because you're so much more susceptible to the damage, for your skin to be damaged. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this one. Not a whole lot different from the last one, but there were some changes. I definitely feel like my skin is clearer now than it was last month. I think I'm kind of past that peak where it kind of gets worse at first, and then it's around month 3 and 4 that things start to kind of get better. So I'm excited that we're kind of on the downhill side of it. I'm excited to see how it progresses now, how quickly it progresses, if it gets any clearer than this. I'm really excited to kind of see how this Accutane journey will finish up. So far, my treatment plan is a 5-month treatment plan. So I'm on the downhill side of things. So hopefully he'll have kind of an idea of whether or not that timeline is going to be accurate, if he's going to extend it or what. So I'll keep you posted on that. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comments below, and we will see you guys on the next video.